Hello everyone, my name's Hector Mendoza. I'm doing this video to show you a little bit about doors in Xactimate. So uh, I want to show you some tricks that would help you. Let's say that you had a bunch of doors that you have to place in a bunch of rooms. I'm going to show you a bunch of tricks on how to do something like this real fast. Okay, now I'm going to have another video that teaches something about just windows. Then I'm going to have another video that teaches you about missing walls. So this video is specifically for doors. So let me show you how um, how you can create some shortcuts and make it easier for you. So I want to start from the beginning. So if you've never done Xactimate, this will help you a lot. So the first thing, if you go to tools, you go to doorways. Let's say that you want to place a door. You would go in here and you would left click this with a mouse, right? Then it loads that door into your mouse, your selection, right? So now if I left click, it's going to place that door. Now, I have my preferences set to 3. So because I was teaching something earlier. So I'm going to change this back to my door. So your doors are normally 2,6, 2 feet 6 inch. So by standard, you would go in here, you'd go to your doors, you would go to tools, go to doors, right? And you would left click and you'd get a 2.6 door. That's what your computer's probably set. And I'll show you how to set it to where you would just have to click once and it would give you a 3, 4, 5, whatever size door you want or whatever kind of door you want. But for right now, we're going to start from scratch. So remember, you would go to doorway, you click on standard, and you would place your door. Okay, now when you are becoming an adjuster or a contractor, commands are very, very, very good. So there's a few commands that anybody can learn, and it's real simple. D is a door, W is a window, M is a missing wall. So those commands are very, very easy to remember. Everybody that I trained to get certified for their Texas license and their level 1, level 2, level 3 certification, if I see them 2 years later, they know their commands. Okay, so um, I would highly suggest learning it the minimum those commands. Or R for room. So what's this? If you hit R, it creates a room. And I have a video for nothing but rooms. Okay, now, so now, so what I do is I hit D for door, right? If I click, if I left click, it's going to give me a door. If I hit D again, it lets me left click and do another one. Same thing. And you see the mouse stops loading that door, right? I'm going to hit one more time, D and click. Now, let me show you another trick. So if you hit D, this time I'm going to hold the control key. That's that key on the bottom left hand corner of your keyboard. So you hold that down after you hit the door, right? Doorway. You click that control key. I'm holding it down. As I'm holding it down, I'm left clicking with my mouse. So I click. Look, it's still loaded. You see how it has that symbol? So now I just left click. Now watch, all I'm doing is left clicking. So I can put doors anywhere I want, right? Just by left clicking. Okay, so um, that's a easy way to place doors real easy. Okay, so after I placed those doors, I selected the first one. I held my shift key. So let me start all over. So look, there's nothing selected. I'm gonna select my first door. I'm gonna hold my shift key and select all the other doors. Okay, and you can tell when they're selected by looking underneath the door. You see that they're selected, and also they'll be blue. So I'm gonna delete them. Okay, so I'm gonna place that door back. Some people have a hard time selecting that door. What they do is, uh, let me see. I don't understand how they have such a hard time. So, okay, so if they try to select in between here, you might not get it right because you have to, you see, vertically right in the middle, right here. You would have to select right here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little white line where everything else is grayed right here. So if you click there, you can select it. The easiest way for me to select doors is by selecting the actual door. Okay, so you see, if I hover around here, it lets me select that door, right? And then as I hover, look, when I pass this right here, you see that door selected, then you know you're selecting the door. So I thought I'd show you that because I see people try and try and try to select doors, and I don't know exactly what they're doing wrong, but I wanted to show you how easy it is to select doors. Okay, so now, so I showed you how to control key to you went in and you selected the door, you held your control key, and you multiply paste doors. Okay, now, so same thing here. Let's say that you have a door and you like the door. You hit control C, or let's say you right click on the door and you hit this copy. Okay, just in case you don't know the commands, you can right click and copy. Now, so if I hit the paste, I can click here. Or if I if I right click again, I could hit paste, right? Or since it's copied into the memory on the clipboard, you can hit Control V and click because it's still in the on the paste board. So you hit Control V and it pastes again. Or you can hit Control V and you can hit your Control key and just multiple paste. Okay, so now I'm just going to delete all this. So this is just a bunch of different ways of how you can copy and paste items. Okay, so now we know how to copy and paste. Control C copies, Control V paste. By the way, Control C and Control V works uniform almost in any program that you can think of. Control C and Control V works for copying and pasting. I know about 20 different programs, and they all allow me to use copy and paste. You do got to know a little more than just copy and paste because it has some things that are a little different in each program. But okay, so we learn how to copy and paste, and we learn how to hold the control key and to paste. Okay, now, so uh, so now when you hit, let's say either you hit the D or you go and select the doorway. So I'm going to hit D. Okay, it's the same thing as selecting that doorway. If I want a double door, okay, without having to change my door properties, I can left click and I'm holding down my left click, right? Until you see right here where you see 27, 3-1. If you go above 4-1, all you got to do is go above 4-1 and you release, it automatically creates a double door. So this comes real handy when you're trying to do, let's say, a 4,000 square foot home or a 3,000 square foot home. You want to be able to use commands. So that's how you get a double door. Uh, one more option you have, let's say that, okay, so let's say you wanted an overhead door. Again, you would hit D or go to the doorway. You would left click, and again, you see in the center where it's going 6-1, 6-3. If you just go to 7-1 and above, your release, it gives you an overhead door. You see that? It gives you an overhead door. And now, so once you have uh, whatever kind of door you want, if you copy, right, and you hit Control V, so I'm gonna hold my Control key, and it's gonna place that overhead door, right? Now watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a real small overhead door right here because I have this thing loaded, and by left clicking and just moving it, look, well, you see, well, it doesn't let me do that small. So it lets me do some, 7 foot. Let me see if it lets me do a 3-1. No, it doesn't let me do a 3-1. But you're able to just click and drag different widths once you copy that property into the clipboard. Okay, so, hit the wrong key, delete, delete, delete. Okay, so now we know how to click and drag. Okay, so and so now let me show you. Let's say that you were in a house, and that house, all the doors were 3 feet wide. So right now, if you click door, it's gonna, oops, I click and drag. So if I hit door, click, it does 2 6, right? But let's say that you want it to be 3 every time you hit click, because all the doors in this big house were 3. Not just that. So let's say there were 3 and 8 foot tall. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the height of this ceiling to 12. That way you can see. Okay, so now if you go to your options, you go to your preferences. Now, this is only going to affect this one document. There is a way where you can change it to where every document opens in that preferred profile, which is something a whole different teaching thing, but you could do it for all the documents that are open at that particular profile that you change. But we're only going to do it for this particular estimate. So if I go to doors, let's say that I want the doors to be 3 feet wide. I want them to be 8 foot high. Uh, and I want to deduct from the calculations. I can hit OK. And so every time I hit door, if I click and I go to 3D, it does a 3 foot by 8 foot height door. So if I click here, go to my properties, you're gonna see that it's a 3 wide door, and the height of the door is 8. Normally it's 6'8". That's your standard size doors. But because we changed that preferences, I can hit door and just hold my option, and every time I selected or inserted a door, it made it 3 feet wide, 8 feet high. Okay, now, if you ever come upon a sketch and you're used to seeing it that look like this, right? So let's say we had a couple of windows, uh, and then we had a couple of doors, and you're used to seeing a sketch that looks like this, and normally that this is done in Xactimate. But every once in a while, if you've been in this for a long time, you're gonna see a sketch that looks like this, and this is the first time that the first time I saw one, I was like, oh my god, they use a different program. This is not Xactimate. So just because you see a sketch that looks like that, don't think that it's not Xactimate, because like I showed you right here, I changed the doors to open up to a different degree, right? Um, so I changed that one to 90 degree. Now watch, I'm going to change it to 45 degree. So you can make it look like that. And normally you're going to see those, your sketches look like that. I thought I'd show you that, so you don't freak out if you look at a sketch and say, man, wait a second. When I create a door, my doors don't look like that. It looks like this. Okay, so um, now, so I thought I'd show you that because somebody this was about 3 or 4 months ago. They're like, "Hey man, I don't know what program they use. Everything looks like Xactimate, but it wasn't done in Xactimate." And immediately I knew what it was, but I told them, and they were like, "Oh man, thank God," because I really don't want to redo the sketch again. So now let me show you some other little tricks. I'm going to go ahead and delete all my windows here. Okay. And remember, watch my videos because I got a thing on just specifically on Windows. Okay. So, we talked about copying, right? So if you ever, so let me put a few more doors again. And now, let's say that you had a room and the room was identically on top. And so I want to create another level, right? And I wanted to copy this doors and this room on a second layer. So look, this is what it looks like right now. We have one layer, right, with those doors. I'm on level 2. If I go into my tools, go copy from underlay, and I click in the middle of that room, it duplicated that room along with all the doors or windows, anything. If that room had some areas, some blocks, anything it had, it would have copied on this thing. So now look, this is what it looks like. I know this is uh, a different. You see, now you have two of them, right? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. I just since I was talking about copy and pasting, I thought I'd let you know that if you copy from the bottom, a room, it also copies the doors. Okay, now the next thing I want to talk to you about is hinges. So you see, if you look at a door, see right here, here's your hinges, and this is the door opens inward, right? So so this is your hinges. Let's say that I want the hinges to be on this side. Same thing with this one. I can select both of them. Or let's say that I leave that let's say that those hinges were okay on this side. I'm just going to do this one. Now, all you have to do is flip horizontal, right? And you see it still opens inward. It just changed the hinges. Remember, the hinges were down here. Now the hinges are on this side. Okay. um so let's go back to 1D. Now let's say that you don't want to use the pull down. Every second means a lot, especially when you're out there in the field. So all you have to do is click on your open bracket and it changes the hinges from one side of the other. Okay, let's keep that in mind. So now the doors are opening inward into inside the room. Let's say we want the doors to open to the exterior. You would go right here and you would hit flip vertical. Okay, you just click back and forth, or you go and click on open brackets, and that is the key right above the enter to the left. Okay, so it's, you'll see a bracket. So it, if I click that key, it does that. Okay, so and so another thing, some carriers require that all openings, which this is considered an opening just like a window, a missing door, some companies require that any opening, they don't care what the size is, has to be deducted from the wall. And what they mean is, whenever you see this is a wall, this is a wall. So when you, if you were going to paint this room, you would paint what you see in orange, but you wouldn't paint the doors because that's separate. That wouldn't have caused damage, unless if there was damage to that door, then there would be a separate painting process. But they want you to remove this from that wall because this is all you get. You're paying to paint. Okay, so if you go to your doors, and you can even select two, you can select three, you can select all the doors. You go to your properties. Now another, I keep on hitting that this this thing right here to go to your properties. There's other ways to doing it. While you have it selected, if you right click, you can click on properties. It goes to properties, right? Or while you have it selected, you can click on this icon here. This is your icon property. You can click and go properties. Or while you have your doors selected, if you just hit the control enter, it goes into your properties. So there's a lot of ways to get into your properties. Or if you're here and you double click, if you double click, it goes into your properties. So there's a lot of ways to get to your properties. Okay, so uh, so if you went into your properties and you wanted to remove the deduction from that wall, you would go right here, and you see right here where it says deduct doors. Now, right now, if you click here, it won't let you select anything, right? But since you selected here, you got another two pull down menus. You could tell it yes or no. So if I told it no, it's not going to deduct. If I tell it yes, it's going to deduct. So this 0.0, it means that it doesn't care if it's 0.00001, it's going to remove it. Now, some companies will allow up to a certain square footage, like let's say 20 square feet. So if the door was smaller than 20 square feet, when you multiply the width by the height, then if it was below 20, it wouldn't deduct it. But if it's above 20, it would deduct it. Okay, so uh, at the beginning of a deployment, they're going to tell you, hopefully, that either they want the doors deducted or the doors not deducted. That's where you would change it. Now, so now that you know a little bit of all of this, you can go into this particular doc estimate. You can go to preferences and you could set it right here for your doors to deduct or not to deduct. Let's say that you want a different angle, or let's say every time you create a door, you want it to be left on the left hand side or the right hand side, the hinges. Um, so um, this is for your doors. Or if you wanted to change it to 2,6 and your standard doors are 6.8, 6,8, you could change this. In addition, you can tell it what kind of door. Let's say that every door in that whole place were bifolds, then you could change it here. Or if it's a Dodge pocket overhead. Okay, so then you would hit OK, and every time you create a door, uh, it would make it to the size that you set the preferences. Okay, so let me see. We've talked about copy and paste, um, angles, hinges. Uh, now, uh, let me. Okay, so there's a lot of things I want to talk about. Okay, so now let's say that you wanted a window on top of this door. Okay, so if you hit W for window and you click and drag right here, it didn't do nothing, right? Look, 3D. See, it didn't put a window there, right? Because the properties to that window doesn't fit there. But you can put a window on top of those doors. So, um, so if I hit 2D, okay, if so, I'm going to hit the 2 key, and somewhere in here there's a in case you need to know where this thing is, let me find it, because there it is right there. You see elevation view, the 2. What that is, all I don't use that. I just hit the 2 button, and see, this opens the 2D inside the room. If I click on the exterior, it's going to open up that 2D. So let's open up this 2D. So this is what it looks like, right? Now I'm going to hit my 2D. Look, if I click here, you see there's no doors here, right? So if I click here, you see it doesn't show no doors. Same thing here, 2D. Now I got two doors. There they are, 2D. Got 1 door. Okay, so this 2D is real cool, man, because you can't not do uh, this kind of doors without uh, without using the 2D. So let me show you how to put a window on top of a door. So uh, so every once in a while you're gonna come upon a door. So look, watch this. Let's change this into a those are usually like 5, and they are double doors. Okay, so type standard bifold. Oh no, excuse me, bifold. Okay, so you've probably seen doors that look like this. So let me put a window right here, and we'll make that a 1 foot. Okay, and I will Control C, Control V, paste that window down here. And I'm not gonna worry about what it looks like too much. Okay, so if I hit 2D, then this is what that looks like. But here's the deal. This windows, if you're used to seeing those windows would be exactly to the size of this thing. You could go in here and try. Look, so I can go up here, look, and if I move my mouse down here, I can line it up to that one. And then I would go all the way to the bottom, right? Same thing here. I could go in here and line this up right here to the top, go all the way down here and line it up to the bottom. Okay, so that's one way of doing it, right? So I'm going to hit 1D. I'm going to go to 3D so you can see what this thing looks like. Okay, this is what it looks like. Y'all seen those doors, that have that window next to it, right? So I'm just gonna move them. Let's see, 3D, and this is what they usually look like. Okay, so now what about if you had a window on top of that. But before I even go there, let me show you something. So I'm going to go back to 2D. You remember how I was showing you how to, uh, and look, well, it's 8 feet. Let me see, what is this one? 8 feet. But let's say that they look like this, and you wanted to do it mathematically instead of going in here and changing it right this way. Um, so I'm going to change this to a regular door, which would be, let's say, 6 8 instead of 8. 6 8, 6 comma 8. Now I could go in here and move this thing up and down, or like you see, this one's a different size than this one. I don't know if the base height is 0, and base height here is 0, which is no, that's what I wanted. But I can click here, hold my shift key, hit control enter, and look. So on the height, it says multiple, right? I can delete what's in there and just put 6 comma 8, and now look, they're lined up in there. So now uh, this is what it would look like. Okay. So give me 1 second here. Okay, now, okay, now we're going to place a window. Remember earlier, we couldn't put a window on top of there, right? So I'm going to show you how that works. So if I hit 2 for 2D, I'm in 2D. So this is that one wall. It only allows you to see one wall at a time. So first, I'm going to put a wide window on top of the windows and the door. So I can, I can go in here, go to tools and select window, or I can hit W. Now it gives you, it loads this right here. So it would, you would think that you would have to click and just click, right? You can. So like if I click here, it places that window. Then you could go in here and change the width and height of the window, right? Or you can hit W, and let's say I wanted to start right here, go up, and I clicked and drag up, okay? And you could do it that way. So, um, you know, now look, let's say I want to line it up with this right here. Let's say you drew it right here, and you want this thing to line up right here. If I left click and watch, I can move to the left, but I can also go this way, and all it's doing is going up and down because that's the only thing I selected. But I can go in here and align my crosshairs with the left line. Same thing here. If I click, I can line it up right here to the left. So now this is what you're looking like. Y'all seen those doors and windows. Now let's go back to 2D. This time I'm going to put a arch window. So I'm going to hit W again, okay? And I'm going to click and drag, okay? And and select what size I want. You're there. You could actually measure this thing. I'm just guessing right now. So let's go to our window type. You see right here where it says shape. You can do round arcs. You can do flat arcs. You're going to see those kind of windows. So right now we're going to hit round arcs. So now if I hit 1D, 3D, and I know y'all seen those windows before. So that's how you create layers. Now, I know I'm teaching about windows, and you'll see this in Windows too, but this is part of a door. So I thought I'd teach you this part of a door so that, because that's what I'm teaching, doors, but that door usually might have this kind of stuff associated with the door. Okay, so let me see what else I need to see if I can teach y'all. I taught about copy and paste. Um, so, you know, for y'all that don't know different styles of doors. Let me go over. Oh, another thing here, another thing. So you saw me adjusting using 2D, 1D, which this is what I consider 1D. Let me see what they call it. They call it the 3D view. I call it 1D. So yeah, I don't know what it is. This view. Okay. So now, I showed you how you can make it wider, taller, shorter. So another way you can do it is by going to 3D. Let's say you went in 3D. You can click on a window and make it taller, wider. You can go into your properties and change the width. You can change so uh, right now the base height is 8. From the bottom to here is 8. So let's say that I wanted the base height to be 8 comma 6. See, oh, it didn't let me because, okay, so it didn't let me because there's not enough room up there. But you could go in there and change that, or you can change it this way. Okay. um I prefer not to do things on 3D because it's a little bit harder. It might be me. I don't know. I like doing 2D and 1D. But again, you have your properties that you can change it with. Okay, so let me see what else I can teach y'all about doors 1D. Um, okay, so this is going to be the last thing. So now, so you can go in here and start deleting this stuff by just, you don't have to go to the 3D or 2D. It's only going to let you select it in parts. Okay, so now let's go in here and let's talk about different kinds of doors. So I'm going to hit D and I'm going to put 5 doors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now uh, let me show you. Here, I can open up this guy here and give it a little more room. Okay, so let me show you the difference between doors. So, your standard door is gonna, your first thing that's gonna show up is gonna be a flush door. Okay, so this is the style, flush. Okay, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change each one of them so you can see them side by side. So I'm gonna change the property here to, instead of flush, I'm gonna do a panel. Then the next one, I'm gonna do a French. Then we got, 2 other ones that we can select from. So one more. Okay. Now, this is what those doors look like now. And I've known you've seen these doors in your lifetime, unless if you're real young. So let's hit 3D, and this is what those doors are. That's where you get your styles. Okay. Is that real important when you're deducting doors from? No. Are people going to look at that? Not really. Uh, but if you wanted to look exactly what you're seeing, this is how you would change it. Okay. Last thing, door types. So, if I went in here, I went into my door and I hit the type, you're going to have same thing, 5 different kind. So, well, actually 6. So let's say the first one is bifold. Okay. Then the next one, we would hit your sliding door. Okay. Then here, we go in here and Dutch. Okay. We select pocket. Okay. It's not going to let me do overhead door because it's not big enough. So this is what those doors look like. And I'll tell you what, so you can see what they look like on a just regular flush door. This is what they look like. See, double sliding Dutch. So that's what they're gonna look like. That's what this on your properties. That's what this means. You know, so you got door styles, and these are your door types, and also, so let's say one last thing. Let's say you have a double door, which in 4-1, right? Oops, I must have hit 4. So door, uh, come on, door, and let's go to 4. That's good. 4-9, 5, whatever. Um, so that's a double door. So every once in a while, you're gonna see a double door, but it's gonna also be bifold, and you see those in your closets a lot. And basically, those are gonna actually look like this. That's basically what they're gonna look like. Okay, that's how you change that. All right, guys. So I think that's enough about doors. Uh, can't think of anything else that I can show you on doors. I know there's things I'm missing, but thank you for watching my video. If you like this, put a like on that video. I would appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed to me, go ahead and subscribe to me. You'll see uh, I'm getting close to 100 videos. No, actually, I'm about 105 videos. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you on the next one.